welcome back to Craft Little Things. I thought today that I'd show you, a couple of people have asked me actually, they've seen this in my office or my craft room. I've got some bunting that's crocheted. They've asked me how to do the triangle granny square, and it's really easy. The granny square, the triangle, the granny triangle, which is done in the same way as the granny square. And I thought I'd show you one that, because it's quite useful, it's a project you can, it's a good beginner's project, it's something you can string together and use as bunting as well. I've done this one in more festive colours. I've done it in quite a bright green and red. And I'm going to show, obviously this will enable me to show you how to change colours and yeah, and how to just make a little chain to use as string for your bunting. I'm assuming that if you're watching this video that you either already know how to crochet in basic. It is a very basic pattern, so people who are sort of more intermediate or experienced will probably find it a bit slow and a bit boring, but they can fast forward through it if they want. But for beginners, I'm assuming that you already have a certain level of skill, so I'm not going to go really, I'm going to go quite slow, but I'm not going to go really slow, as in teaching you all the stitches and all the words and terminology as I go along. I have got a series, a playlist of, I think there's 12 videos in it, on this channel, which takes you through everything you need to know to be able to start to crochet. And also I've got a giveaway running on this channel and on my blog, which is giving away a full sort of beginner's kit, so have a look at that if you've not seen it, and make sure you read the instructions carefully in order to enter, because I think some people have not done that and they've thought that just by liking the picture that they've entered, and that's not the case. So that's running until the end of the month. Yeah, but please go and watch those videos, and they're not meant to sort of watch once and that's it. They're meant to keep on watching until you've mastered that particular part of crochet and then move on to the next one. So hopefully, I'm going to assume that you've done that before I start this one. Okay, so what you need for this is you need, I'm doing this with a 5mm hook, and you need a yarn needle to sew in your ends. You'll need scissors to cut off your work, and 2 colours of yarn. I'm just using this lipstick, which is by Stylecraft, and it's a special DK yarn, and this really vivid green, which I believe is from Mariners, and it's a DK as well. So I'm going to start with, I'll start with red in the middle this time, I'll start with green because it'll give you a better contrast on my hook. Now I do have a tendency to stray off the bottom of the screen when I'm crocheting, just because it's a little bit difficult for me to get to this angle, but I'm going to try my hardest not to. And do you like my nails? My son's girlfriend bought me them. They're from Primark. Hey, I'll tell you what, I've had them on for nearly a week and they're still stuck, and I've washed up, I've cleaned, I've made beds, I've done all sorts of crafting, so yeah, I'd recommend them. Right, so first of all we just need to make a slip knot to get us started. So as I said, there's a video on how to do a slip knot, but how I do it is I put fingers down, lay my yarn across, see the end of my yarn there, cross my yarn over, hold it there, put my hook under the first strand, grab the second strand, give it a twist and pull everything through, and there's my slip knot. It's really important that you can do a slip knot, so keep on practicing that until you get that right. And then I'm going to chain 4, and remember, a chain 4 is just a simple grab some yarn and pull it through the loop on your hook. That's 1. Grab hold of some yarn with your hook and pull it through the loop on your hook. That's 2. Grab some yarn and pull it through. 3. Grab some yarn and pull it through, and that's 4. So now we have 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4. In that first stitch, that first bit there is our slip knot. In that first stitch, you want to push your hook into that first stitch. And again, there is a video in my Absolute Beginners explaining how to count stitches and anatomy of stitch and things like that. So pull some yarn through and then pull that through the loop on your hook, and you've made a slip stitch, and that's given you a ring to sew into. Now be careful that you do sew into the ring and not into a stitch. So if you pull it apart and pop the end of your finger in, your finger should be encircled by stitches, and it should be quite uniform, apart from obviously this stitch here. And you should have the 2 sort of layers, 2 or 3 strands of the stitch, okay? And now all you do is you chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. And that's just to give us the height of a double crochet, because we're going to be using double crochets throughout. And that's UK terms, US terms. In UK terms, that's a treble. So this counts as our first treble. And what we want to do is we want a group of 3, just like you do in the granny square. We want a group of 3 double crochets. So for a double crochet, we yarn over, put our hook into that circle, grab some yarn, pull it through to the front. Now we've got 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, and there we've got a double crochet. Now we do another one, yarn over, push our hook in, grab some yarn, pull it through, grab some yarn, pull it through 2, grab some yarn and pull it through 2. And now we've got our second double crochet. So this chain 3 that we did at the beginning is acting as our first double crochet. So now we've got our set of 3. So now we want to do our corner. So we chain 1, 2 and 3. For the triangle granny square, granny triangle, I chain 3 for the corner. On the square I chain 2. But I found this just gives you a better triangular shape. So this is going to be our corner. So now we want another set of 3. So yarn over into the centre, pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's the first of our double crochet. If you hold on to your straggler behind your circle and stitch around it, as long as that's not too complicated for you, you'll sew it in, and that'll save you work at the end. So now we'll do another double crochet. So yarn over into the circle, grab some yarn and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Another one, yarn over into the circle, grab some yarn, pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And so you've got another set of 3 now. So now you want to do another corner. So you want to chain 3. 1, 2 and 3. Now you know when you're doing a chain, you're just essentially grabbing some yarn and pulling it through and making a knot. That's exactly what you're doing in this circle. It's just as if you're putting your hand through here and just pulling some yarn from the back to the front, so you can work with it. So don't get too bogged down thinking you're doing anything technical. And when we turn our hook, we're not doing it to be fancy, we're just turning it because if we tried to pull it through like that, nothing's going to happen and our work slips off. So really it's just about using the hook to keep hold of your yarn without it sliding away, and to make it easy to guide it through holes. Yeah, so we need to do another 3. So we've done a set of 3, chain 3, a set of 3, a chain 3, and now we're going to do another set of 3. So yarn over, hook into the circle, pull the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, hook into the circle, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, hook into the circle, pull the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And now you have the 3 sets that you wanted. And now we chain 3 to join it together, and then we're going to join it together. So chain 1, 2, 3. And now what we do is we find the top stitch in this chain of 3 that we did at the beginning. So there's the first stitch, second stitch, and the third stitch. Stick your hook into that third stitch, right into the middle of it. Grab some yarn, pull it through, and pull it through the loop on your hook. And there you have the beginning of your triangle. Now what we do is, just like for the square, we chain 3 to start a new row. So we're on row 2 now. So if I was reading the pattern, this would be row 2, chain 3. Now this chain 3 is going to act as a double crochet, but it's going to act as the last double crochet of the round in this corner. This is where we're going to finish. So we need to start over here with our first double crochet. So we need to do another chain 1 to give us a little bit of movement to get us over to that corner. Remember in the granny square, if you've watched that one, you do a chain just to get you over to the next space, and it's exactly the same. The only difference is in the granny square we had 4 corners, and in the granny triangle we have 3. And in the granny square we did 2 chains to make a corner, and in the granny triangle we're doing 3. Okay, so yarn over and put your hook into the chain space, not into a stitch. Grab the yarn and pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And we want 2 more into that chain space. 1 more, yarn over into the space, pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And now we have a set of 3, so we want to chain 3 because we're creating a new corner here. Yarn over into the space, pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, oops, yarn over, pull through 2, and then 2 more, because on the granny triangle we have a set of, in each corner we have a set of 3 double crochet, a chain 3, and then a set of 3. So let's just do our next double crochet there, and a final one. Yarn over into the corner, pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So now we have that nice corner shape. And just keep in mind the anatomy of your shape. So that's going to be pulled over there. This is our bottom corner. Then we're going to work on this next corner. But to get into the corner, you want to chain 1, yarn over, and into the space. Pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And as always, we're going to do a set of 3 double crochet. So yarn over, into the space, pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And there we have 3, and now we're into a corner again. So we chain 3, and then we do another set of 3 into the same space, because this is a corner we're creating again. Working into a corner, you're always creating the corner for your next round, okay? And obviously with a triangle, you do this 3 times each round. So chain 1 so we can get into this top corner, and remember this first chain we did is the last double crochet of this one, so we need to do a set of 3, yarn over into the space, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over into the space, pull yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over into the space, pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then we chain 3 for our final corner. And now we have to put 2 double crochet into this corner space. That's 1 and 2. And now we finish our round just as we always do with a slip stitch into the top of the chain 3. Now it's a bit easy to find because we did an extra chain to give us the lift to go across. So that's our chain. So the one next to that is our 3rd chain. So just stick your hook in, grab some yarn, pull it through and pull it through the loop on your hook. And there you have your triangle starting to really form now. Okay, so then we're going to change colour. So how I'm going to change colour, I'm going to make it really easy for you. I'm just going to leave that colour, I'm just going to pull that one through. And do you know, I've forgotten to get my embroidery scissors out. So I'm just going to use, paper scissors. Let's see, they're not very good. So pull that through to finish that off. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a simple method to tie on my next colour. Now you can tie it on wherever you want. I'm going to tie it into this middle gap because you can see now in our first section we had three, a set of 3 a corner, a set of 3 a corner, a set of 3 a corner. And then in our second round what we've done is we've created a set of 3, a space, a set of 3, a corner, a set of 3, a space, a set of 3, a corner. Okay, so just like the granny square, we're going to sew now 3 into the space, 3, chain 3, 3 into the corner, 3 into the space, 3, a chain 3, a 3 into the corner. And remember, between each, when we're moving across to a new space, we just chain that extra 1 to help us get across there. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to do a really simple, and again I'll show you in the Absolute Beginners different ways of changing colour, but I'm just going to do really simple. I'm just going to tie it on, and then I'm going to tie my 2 stragglers together. Now this is what I often do because it just gives you that little bit more security for both of your colours. Okay, and now you sew those in later or you can weave them in as you go along, it's up to you. So now we need a chain 3 to start us off as always. So 1, 2, 3. And if you weren't sure how I did that, all I did was I just put my hook into the space and just pulled the yarn through to the front so I could start working with it. So 1, 2, 3, and that's going to act as it can act as the first of this set of 3, or it can act as the last of this set of 3. I'm going to let it be the first of this set of 3, and I'm going to put 2 more into there. So 2 more double crochets, yarn over into the space, pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. I'm just going to free up some yarn so that it's easier for me to work. There we go. Should be a little bit easier now. And now we're going to move over to this corner. So as always, we chain 1 to give us that extra bit of space to, I said it'd be easier, and then I put my ball of wool on top of everything that I unravelled. So yeah, so now we chain the 1 to get us over to the corner, and now we put 3 double crochets into this corner. So it's just yarn over into the corner, pull through some yarn, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and repeat that 2 more times. Yarn over into the corner, pull some through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So now we have a set of 3 and it's a corner, so we chain 3 and then put another 3 into the same corner. And I'm going to stop saying how to do the double crochet now, because I think that you should have mastered it by now. And then we've done our 3, our chain 3 and our set of 3, and then we've made a new corner. So now we want to work into this space, so we chain 1 to get ourselves across there, yarn over into the hole, pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and there's our first double crochet. Do 2 more in that space. I said I wasn't going to tell you how to do the stitch anymore, didn't I? And then I went and told you. And there we have our 3 into that space. Now we want to put 3 into this one, which is a corner. So a chain 1 to give us that little bit of movement to get across. Yarn over and put 3 double crochet into this corner. 2, 3, and it is a corner, so we want to create the new corner, so we chain 3 and then we do 3 more double crochet into this corner. 2 and 3, and now we have a new corner. You can see our shape taking shape. These are the 2 corners, so we're working our way up to the last corner up here now. So we need to work into this space, so we chain 1 to get us across there, yarn over and do a double crochet and another double crochet and a 3rd double crochet. And now we're heading up to our last corner, so we chain 1 and then we put 3 double crochets into that corner space, and it is a corner, and so we chain 3 and then we put another 3 into the same corner space. 2, 3. Simple as that. And now we want to join to the beginning, chain 3, so we chain 1 to get us across there, find the top stitch, so 1, 2, 3. Remember I said you look for these little V shapes to count your stitches. 1, 2, 3. Just put your hook right in between those stitches, that V shape, grab some yarn and pull it through the loop on your hook. And there we have our triangle taking shape. And so if we look at the one that we already have here, we're working in the same colours. So this is the round we've just done. And you see your chain, sorry about my snotty nose, you see your chains kind of disappear and you're just left with your groups of 3. Okay, so we changed colour here. I'm not going to, I'll change colour again. So just pull it through, make yourself a nice big loop, and then cut off your yarn and put it right through. And now get your new colour yarn, and you could change colour again. You could go for a white yarn if you wanted to now. And you can pull it through anywhere you want to pull it through. You can start on a corner, you can start on an end piece, you can start anywhere, and just tie it on. And then, like I said, I tie my 2 stragglers together just for extra security. If this is just going to hang as bunting, it's not going to spend half its life in the washing machine, so it's not going to have as much chance of being pulled to pieces, or it's not going to be dragged about by a dog or a child or anything. So yeah, I'm just going to tie those out of the way together. you don't have to do that. Right, so then we start the next round, which is this round here. And so as you can see, we're going to have our 3 corners, which are exactly the same, but we're going to be sewing into 2 side spaces and creating a 3rd side space. So this time I'm going to treat this as the last of my round. So put my hook in, pull some yarn through, 1, 2, 3 chains. And I want to move across into this chain. So I'm going to chain 1 more, and then I'm going to yarn over, put my hook into that space, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and do my first double crochet. Although these 3 chains will count as a double crochet as well. And then I'm going to put another 2 double crochet into there. And then I want to move to the corner, so I chain 1, and then I'm going to my corner. So I put 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet to create my new corner. So yarn over, into the space, oops, pull through some yarn, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, into the space, pull through some yarn, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. You know the score by now. And then I'm going to chain 3 for my corner, and then I'm going to pop in 3 more into that same space to create my new corner. 1, 2, and 3. And now I'm going to move over to this chain space, so I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to put 3 double crochet into that space. So 1, 2, and 3. And now I'm moving into the next chain space, so I'm going to chain 1. There's a lot going on in this camera shot, isn't there? And then I'm going to put 3 double crochet into this chain space. 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to do another corner. So I'm going to chain 1 to get over there, and then I'm going to put in 3 double crochet, 3 chains, and 3 double crochet to make a new corner. And you should know this by now, that we have 3 double crochet, 3 chains, and 3 double crochet to make that corner space, to make that corner shape. Okay. And now we just carry on doing the same. You can see we've got the bottom of our triangle there. Now we just carry on doing the same. Chain 1 to move us over to this space, and we put 3 double crochet into there. I'm going to keep working through it with you because you are a beginner if you're watching this, and so it might help to have someone working through it with you. Just keep stopping it if I get too ahead of you. I'm chaining 1 and I'm putting 3 into here. Remember that chain 1 space. It's not going to destroy your project if you forget it. So I wouldn't go back and start all over again if you forgot a chain 1 in your first row. But, you know, do try to get into the habit of thinking I'm moving across, so I need to chain. And then you won't go wrong. And then 3 into the corner, and then what do we do when we're in the corner? We do 3 double crochet, we chain 3, and we do 3 double crochet. Oh, sorry, I'm so full of cold. It's not very nice listening to me being all snotty, is it? Right, so we're nearly at the end of this round now, which is round 1, round 2, round 3. This is round 4 on a pattern. So we chain 1, and we need to add 2 double crochets to here because we've already got 1 this chain 3 is acting as a double crochet. So we're just going to pop 1, 2 double crochets in there, and then we're going to count 3, 1, 2, 3, stick our hook right into the middle of that stitch, grab some yarn, pull it through and pull it through the loop on our hook, and there we have our 4th round. Now I'm going to start round 5 with you in a different colour, so I'm going to pull that through and just cut that off, and then I'm just going to put some red through. So I'm just going to pull my red through here and just knot it on. Again, you can put it wherever you want. I'm just going to put mine there, tie it to my other straggler just to keep them safe. Keep my stragglers out of the way, and then grab hold of my yarn, pull it through and chain 3. Oops. 1, 2, 3. And this time I'm going to make this the first one of my set of 3. So I need to put 2 more in there. And I'm not doing this to confuse you. I'm doing this to show you that, you know, you can decide. I mean, the pattern will tell you it's going to act as your first double crochet or your last double crochet, but you can decide. So now we've got 3 side spaces and on each side and a corner. So make sure you don't miss any of those out. Chain 1, and let's go into the first one here. So we'll just do 3 double crochets into that space. 1, 2 and 3. I'm working very loosely because I'm trying to show you how to do it, so yours might look a bit tighter than this. And we chain 1 to get to the corner, yarn over, and we put 3 into the corner, 3 double crochet. And remember, we're using American terms. In UK terms, these are triples. And then we chain 3 to make that corner space. And then we do 3 more double crochet into that same space. And the thing is about, again, with the granny triangle, chain 1 to get to the next chain space and then 3 into the space. The thing with the granny triangle, again, is you can keep going and you can make it as big as you want. I mean, if you wanted to make a shawl, a triangular shaped shawl, chain 1 to go to the next space, you know, or shoulder shawl for somebody who's in hospital, or just for yourself to put around your shoulders when you're sat watching telly at night or something, or sat up in bed reading if you don't want to have your heating on full blast. You know, just keep going with this. Chain 1 to get into the next space and pop 3 in there. And you can just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You can make, you know, you can do it all in one colour. If you did it all in white, it, you know, it'd make a nice little baby shawl. Chain 1 to get to the corner, 3 double crochet, 3 chains, 3 double crochet into the corner again. You could trim it with a different colour. You know, if you wanted it all white and then the last row pink, that would look nice for a baby shawl. You could join them together to make a scarf. If you imagine, I'll show you in a minute. Just put those 3 into that corner. If you imagined this was blue and this was a pale blue or something, and you made them a little bit bigger, or even that size, you can stitch them together along this length, because there'll be the same number of stitches in each one. Stitch them together as we stitch the granny squares together. And you could have a nice sort of multicoloured scarf. You know, there's lots you can do. You can put them together, you could put them together like that and make a nice placemat or something, you know, if you put them together like that. There's all sorts you can do with these shapes. So chain 1 to get us into this space here. I'm going to put 3 into this space again. Or you can leave them smaller. Chain 1 to get over to the next space, put 3 double crochet in there, and use them as triangular shaped coasters. If you were to do a sort of a dark green smaller one, chain 1 to get over to the next space. You could even put little pom-poms or sequins on, and they could look like Christmas trees. You could stitch across the top of them in white, like snow or something. Chain 1 to get to the last corner, 3 double crochet into the corner, 2, 3, chain 3 and 3 double crochet. Just going to pull off some more yarn because my tension's getting really tight because there's none pulled off. Oh, it's getting dark already. Chain 3, 1, 2, oops, 3, and 3 double crochet to finish off the new corner. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, move into this last space, yarn over, put into the space, pull some yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Everything's gone sliding downwards. Sorry. Yarn over into that space, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And then we just want to chain 1 to get us over to this space. Keep our stragglers in the back. I don't want to stay in the back. And then just 1, 2, 3 up to our 3rd stitch. Stick our hook straight into the middle of that stitch, grab some yarn and pull it through, and then pull it through the loop on our hook. And that is the end of round 5. Now that's all I did. I've done 5 for this one as well, and 5 for that one. This one had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one had 7, so, but I can't remember what size hook I did that on. I think it might have been a smaller hook because they look a bit more dainty. Right, so yeah, so these could make like some nice bunting now. Just finish it off if you've finished. Just cut it off and pull it through. And then what you do is you just take all these stragglers and you just take your yarn needle, which in my case is over here, and I mean these were just loosely tied together, so just untie them, and then you just pop your yarn needle in and just sew them in. Now you can see how much work goes into crochet when it's all elaborate colours. People don't realise because you have to stitch. This is my straggler from the very beginning that I'm just stitching in, so just stitch back on it. You don't have to keep on going forever until it's totally disappeared. Stitch it through itself a couple of times just to knot it up, and then just let it bury itself in the work. If you just pull it, it'll spring back into the work when you cut it off. So let me just do another one for you. So just get another one. This is why you don't want your stragglers to be too short, because if they were too short, you'd have real trouble threading them into a needle, and then you'd have real trouble sewing them in. And you're not wasting the yarn, because there are a few things you can do with your little offcuts. You can save them to use as stitch markers, which I think I've shown you. Why won't this thread? You can save them to use as stitch markers. You can also save them and use them to stuff little toy projects and pin cushions and things like that. They make quite a nice stuffing. You need a lot of them. Obviously, I'm sewing my green straggler into my green work and not sewing it into my red work, so it'll show. But that's it, a couple of times, and just snip it off. Just be careful not to snip the rest of your work, any of the other of your work, because that wouldn't be good times. So just sew them all in. Don't distort your work when you're sewing them in. Be nice and gentle with it. And when they're all sewn in, your last one, it's my nails, I can't grab hold of it properly with these nails in. Sew your last one in. What I like to do with my last one is just run it through the stitches a little bit, and then take it down the back of my work, put it through a little bit, let it run through a couple of stitches, run it back on itself. It doesn't have to be like a massive thing, because you are tied off. And then you can think about making a string to thread through. And all I've done here is I've got 2 strands of the yarn I've used, and I've just put them together like that. I've tied them in a knot at one end, and then you just do a slip, keep them together, make a slip knot, sorry, as normal, and then you just make a chain, and it just looks really effective. And you just keep chain until it's as long as you want it to be. And once it's as long as you want it to be, this is just a demo piece I've done here. So sorry about this cough. Once it's as long as you want it to be, like I said, this is just a demo piece, you pull it through, and then you just thread it through your bunting. Leave yourself an end, put a loop on the end, so maybe just tie that to that, and leave yourself a loop. And then thread it through all your layers. So you can either just thread it through the 2 ends, or you can thread it through each of these spaces and use those. This is one of the nice things about crochet, because it's often quite sort of lacy and holey. It gives you lots of scope to thread ribbon through. I mean, you could use ribbon to do this, you could use tinsel, anything you wanted to use. And then you see you thread on your next one, and there's your bunting. You would want to block this first though if you're going to use it as bunting, and all you do to block it is just get a piece of foam or corkboard, anything you can stick pegs or needles into. All I do is I just get the push pins and stick them into a corkboard. So I'd put one in the corner one there and one there. Just stretch it out between them. And then I just get this. You can either just get a spritz bottle and just spray it with water and let it dry like that, or you can get a steam iron, hold it above it, don't put it on it, and just blast it with steam and just leave it to dry. And when you take it off, it'll keep that shape. It sort of makes it develop a bit of memory. And that, if you imagine that shape pulled out, just looks a little bit better than that. Doesn't it? You know, it's a bit, just looks a bit better than that. So it'll stay in that shape as well, you see. It won't, like that's staying there now, but it'll fold up and it'll bend and it'll eventually just be like this again. This one's been on the wall for 2 years now, and it's still in that nice blocked shape. Okay, so that's it. That is how to make a granny triangle, and there you can make some bunting, and it looks really nice in white and red. If your theme's, you know, blue and white for Christmas, or purple and white, whatever, it's just a really nice easy project, and you can make as many as you like. Even if you want to get, you know, it's a good sort of project if you're doing up somewhere, like if you work in a hospital or a residential home or something, or a hospice. You can get people engaged in craft. Craft's a very, very relaxing activity, and you can get people engaged. Even if they can't crochet, they can help thread things together, they can help sew in ends, and get people involved, and you can make it a real nice team effort and make a nice long string bunting. And you know, it's just a nice little project to do, and it's really, really simple, and hopefully you know, absolute beginners have been able to follow this. I really hope you have, and I hope you found it useful. So thanks for joining me, and I'm going to come back and show you how to do a really easy star shape that you can use for putting on trees indoors and outdoors, because I'm going to show you how to make it waterproof as well. And you can use it to hang, you can make garlands out of it, or you can use it for coasters. So again, we've got lots of different uses for one little project that I'm going to show you that's going to be really easy. Thanks for joining me, and see you soon. Bye bye.